Hello, friends. This is Devangi Dalal, audiologist and speech therapist. I am here again with one more talk show. In this talk show, we have all the professionals coming from all over the world talking about hearing health issues. They have spoken about precautions, they have spoken about awareness, they have spoken about the humanitarian touch. And now, today, we have a wonderful lady from Chandigarh, from India, and she is going to discuss with us about the importance of hearing health. So, here I'm going to introduce Nidhi Bhatnagar from Chandigarh. So Nidhi Bhatnagar, she is a director of Be Heard Clinics. She has her own three independent clinics. She has been having experience of 11 years in private practice. She is received a PGIMI Chandigarh Institute Medal for all round excellence. She's very good in her work. She's been pioneered and established the Department of Speech and Hearing in several multiple specialty hospitals in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. She has worked with established medical tourism program for felicitation of hearing habilitation program. She's also established and leads the universal newborn hearing screening program in several hospitals in clinics in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. She has done a lot of presentation at national and international. She's done her publication. She's also been a guest faculty in several workshops for conferences on hearing loss and rehabilitation. Recently, in present, she is a joint secretary for CISHA and also advisor of ISHA in a special group of private practitioners where I am also associated with her. So nice. I welcome here Nidhi Bhatnagar, a lady with charming face and a personality who knows how to work on hearing healthcare on the best possible way. So today we are going to discuss about hearing healthcare. Hi Nidhi, how are you?
I'm very good, Ivangi. Thank you so much for such a warm and wonderful welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I'm so happy that I had on a talk show all the international professionals, and today I have somebody who is very close to me, and we work together. And you have accepted my invitation and have agreed to discuss about the importance of hearing health, and especially in India, we are still not aware about certain issues, and we as professionals, we need to discuss and let people know that how best we can work on hearing healthcare. So first question to me, Nidhi, is uh, according to you, what is the importance of hearing healthcare?
Right. So, when we talk about hearing, it is one of the most vital sense organs and often which is ignored. We often see people who are going for regular dental checkups, regular eye checkups, but as far as hearing health is concerned, really very little or actually nothing is being done, especially when we talk about the Indian scenario. So we need to understand that hearing is a special sense organ which we need right from childhood until our last day we breathe. And it becomes very imperative that, for a good social communication in the society, to express ourselves, to listen to each other, it is very important to stay connected. So if hearing health is not taken care of and we have issues with hearing, then the overall quality of life itself is hampered. So I think hearing health should get its due, importance, and people should be made aware about how to look after their ears and how to look after their hearing.
Yeah, I think it is the most neglected part, and especially, all the other disabilities are seen, but hearing disability is not seen. So people are not paying much attention to that, and very little work is done in that. And actually, I had a discussion with one of the professional, and according to them, neonatal screening is done in all over the world from last 30 years, and in here in India we have not yet started.
Very,
So
that's very true.
it has not become mandatory for us to do it. So this is something where we need to change, and we all the audiologists have to come together and spread the message that we can overcome this hearing disability if we all work together. That's very nice. What I would like to ask you, that you have been into practice for so many years, so what kind of hearing problem generally people come with? I mean, how often they take care of their hearing health?
Sadly, Devangi, what happens, if previously, say maybe a decade ago, the kind of patients or the kind of population that we were, meeting frequently were generally people in the older age group who had age-related hearing loss, whose hearing power had gone down with age, and they would come for the hearing checkup and probably come at an age and stage where a lot of damage was already done, even when very good hearing aids were not giving them any benefit. Gradually, also there was a quite a corpus of little children who were coming with middle ear problems, who had discharging ears and middle ear infections, so they would come for hearing checkups. But over a period of time, we have noticed a significant increase in the population of young adults who have been listening to lots of personal music systems, and a lot of noise exposure is there. The stress levels are so high that the kind of population has become a constellation across all age groups. It is not limited to only the older population or the younger children, but a lot of young adults are also coming in with sudden sensory neural hearing loss. Suddenly one night they go to a party and they have a constant exposure for several hours to loud music, and the next thing they know is that from 1 year they are unable to hear the next morning. So things like these, the incidence and the prevalence is really going up very high. And that is why it becomes very important to educate people, to sensitize them that what are the harmful effects of noise, what are the harmful effects of actually ignoring the initial symptoms of hearing loss. Because generally people tend to come at a stage where a lot of damage is done. The initial symptoms are often ignored by people, and they think that as long as we can manage, let us try another 6 months, let's manage, why to see a doctor? Like you correctly said, that it is an handicap which is not visible. So until and unless things become really worse, they try and look for help. So we need to educate people to come and see a specialist, to come and see an audiologist. Initial stages itself, if we are able to tackle the problem, then we see very good results. And as I always say, that prevention is better than cure. So why reach a stage where the ears are damaged? So that is what I think.
Yeah, I agree with you that earlier we used to find only old age people, and now, like, because of you know, abusing of hearing, you know,
Right.
a lot of people are coming with hearing problem, and I think we need to create awareness so that uh, we can help them in earlier stage, and we can overcome that. Now, when we talk about, you mentioned about young people listening loud musics, and not, you should not go to the place where a lot of music is involved, especially in our country where a lot of traffic is there, so many people are there, so much noise is around. So what do you feel that people do really take precautionary measures, or do they pay attention to, or they just neglect about it, or we as an audiologist, what one should do so that they take care of it?
Yes, I think as far as paying attention is concerned, this is an area which is totally neglected, because as we know that in India, the kind of traffic we have on the roads, and it is a never-ending scenario. It is not that 7 p.m. down in the evening and the traffic goes lighter or anything. It's 24 hours, 24 hours is a constant traffic noise. Plus, ever since the lockdown has started, the younger generation is really involved in a lot of watching of Netflix and other things with headphones on for late nights. They're watching series, and they tend, most of my patients who come and see me tell that, ma'am, if you're watching a series, we would like to finish it the same night. So, or maybe listening to high levels of music is another thing. So we need to understand that, according to the WHO, 1.1 billion teenagers and young adults are at a risk of noise induced hearing loss only because of listening to music over the headphones. Because when the younger people are listening to headphones and they want to enjoy the perception of music, they tend to blare up the levels so high, to such a high level volume, because they want to cut down on all the other noises which are going around in the background. Maybe if they are at home, so some noises from the kitchen, or maybe someone out sitting in the living area. So just to cancel those noises, they tend to pick up, the volume, and then that is what really damages the ear. So a good idea is that if you want to protect your ears, one should follow a 60-60 rule. So, what is this 60-60 rule? Basically, it says that you have to listen to your headphone at a volume no more than 60% and for no more than 60 minutes in a day. So, this 60-60 rule really needs to be highlighted by audiologists like you and me so that the younger population are aware about it, because we have the Indian youth which is educated. The only thing is that they need to be sensitized that this is something which will help you, and this is something which will take care of your ears in the longer run. So a lot of awareness needs to be created. Plus, for traffic noise in India, like, for commuting from workplace to home and from home to workplace in a city like Mumbai or Gurgaon or Delhi, we know that it takes hours and hours on the road. So a good idea would be to go in for custom made earplugs if you're traveling in the metro or if you're traveling in a carpool, say for example, then it's a good idea to wear custom earplugs where only speech will be audible to you and the rest of the noise can be cut off. So that is a significant measure which we can highlight and create awareness about this, which can help the youth a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you, because we only have to educate them, and that 60-60 rule. And even I had a conversation with Mark Lawrence, who is also co-chairman for Make Listening Safe. He also insisted that, you have to control, and now, like, smartphones also having that facility of controlling the music. So we I mean, how we use the features in all the mobile phones, I think this feature is also needed to be used by the youngsters, and they need to be aware about it. Once they aware, then we can reduce a lot of problems. Now, this is very important as far as our India is concerned. One issue is concentrating on making listening safe, because we have a noisy place. Another issue is that neonatal screening, uh, which is very important, which we have not started in India. So how much importance it is given to all the by government, all the professionals here in India? Can you just brief about that?
Yeah. Sadly, in India, we do not have the universal newborn hearing screening as a mandatory procedure, which is, implemented or directed by the government that it has to be done. So even in the educated class, there is a very strong sense of resistance by young parents who believe that once the child is being discharged from the hospital, a well-to-do baby who's not had any complication, there the resistance is much greater, that everything is normal, why should we get the ears tested, see the child is able to hear, and all those kinds of crude rudimentary ways of checking hearing are still very predominant. So as far as universal newborn hearing screening is concerned, I feel that as audiologists, it is very important for us to sensitize the pediatricians and the doctors in our area who are dealing with the young parents, because their journey has been with them for 8 or 9 months. So, when as an audiologist, if I ask them to get the child's hearing tested, there might be some resistance. But when the same information is provided during the period, during the time of pregnancy, that at the time of birth, along with all these immunization procedures, along with all these vaccinations which the child has to have, along with the ROP screening for the eyes, a OE test or a hearing assessment at the time of birth is also very important. So if they are sensitized at the right time, then they will not resist to get the hearing checkup done. Because gradually, as and when we have started the newborn hearing screening in different clinics and hospitals in our region, there is a lot of surprise element with the families, because they say that we are so surprised to know that the child has a unilateral deafness, or because of a neonatal jaundice the child has developed hearing loss, he's not able to hear. Because what they assume is that the child will have a hearing loss only if the grandfather or the forefathers have had a history of hearing loss. Why would a newborn child have a hearing loss? So that kind of a mental makeup has to change. We need to spread awareness, and I think the right people to do that is to generate awareness within the medical fraternity itself, that this is the role of an audiologist, this is how the universal newborn screening is important. And a lot of information can be provided through media, through various social media, through talk shows like we are doing, so that people are aware and they understand the importance of newborn hearing screening. Because the sooner the diagnosis is made, the sooner we can rehabilitate the child or habilitate the child, and the child can have a normal future with a good speech and language communication abilities.
Yeah, I mean, so many students of mine, yours, and all over India, those who have really worked with the correct diagnosis and rehabilitation, they have been able to overcome their disability, and they have been mainstreamed in a normal society and having a normal education. So I would like to request the audience who are listening us that please take care, that one is not to use the music very loud, take care of your hearing through listening at the proper level, as well as if you come across any child who has a difficulty, especially in 8 to 9 months, you find that the child is not progressing as any other normal child, then do check the hearing, and if it is possible, pass on the message that every child who is coming out of the hospital need to be screened for the hearing. I think this is the right information Nidhi and me as audiologists would like to spread all over our country, because this is somewhere where we are still lagging behind. Now coming to where of course diagnosis is very important. We have talked about the precautions. Now when you deal about now, like technology has advanced in the hearing aids, how do you differentiate the technology for the right technology for the children and right technology for the adults? I mean, how you would like to explain to our viewers?
See, when we talk about diagnosis is made, and say we have an individual who has a hearing loss. Now, depending upon the language ability, now if we have a little baby, a little child who's never had any exposure to language, you know, and we have to habilitate the child. Everything has to be taught to the child. Sound awareness, sound detection, attaching meaning to a sound, everything needs to be taught to a little baby. So the kind of amplification options or the kind of treatment facilities which are available for children is that if the integrity of the auditory nerve, the nerve which is responsible for hearing, if that nerve is intact and is working properly, then we can go in for good quality digital hearing aids for the child and start with auditory training and therapies for the child at a very early stage. It is wrong to assume that a child only as old as 3 year old or a school going child will be able to undergo therapy. That's completely wrong. Very little babies who are given hearing aids or implanted at the right age, the therapies for them begin at home. We train the parents, we teach the parents how to make sound awareness possible for the child, how to work on making the child being able to detect different sounds in the environment. So there the way of dealing with a child becomes different. And say if, for example, the auditory nerve is not working, it is damaged or cannot, hearing aids cannot provide enough benefit to the child, then the option of cochlear implantation is available, which is a surgical procedure which has excellent results. And like you said, children are mainstream, they're going to regular schools, developing good speech and language abilities, and living with children of their age group, with their peer group, very confidently and very nicely in the society. On the other hand, in the older generation or in the young adults or older population, where they have had an exposure to all the kinds of sounds and everything, there is a tendency of the individual to compare the sound coming from a hearing aid to the natural sound which he had listened all his life. So again, first and foremost, when an individual comes for a hearing test, when we provide this news, when we give this news that yes, there is a hearing loss, we need to understand that the individual needs to have some time to absorb the information, because it comes as a shock most of the time. Since hearing is a binaural event, sometimes uh, little hearing loss does not get noticed, but a unilateral hearing loss, for example, becomes a really shocking piece of news for individuals. So there I think they need to be given all the options available for them, right from a hearing aid to a cochlear implant to an FM system, different kind of options which are available for amplification, and based upon their medical requirement and the kind of financial restrictions or availability with the individual, we can suggest good options. So it's very important to consult a qualified audiologist for getting your hearing evaluated, to understand the available options, to understand which option is correct for you, depending upon your lifestyle, depending upon your social requirement, depending upon your other medical comorbidities like diabetes or hypertension. So, again, dissemination of information by an audiologist is very important. So, in this way, a treatment plan for a child and a treatment plan for an older individual would vary.
Yeah, I agree with you. And most of the time, what happens is, when the child is detected late for the hearing, and the time like 0 to 5 years is the best age where child learns the maximum language. And the earlier we do the hearing aid to their requirement, their auditory memory period is lost less. So they can have a memory same as any normal individual can. So this is very important message which you have given, Nidhi, that we have to detect earlier and try to fit the hearing aid to the requirement at the early stage, so that they can lead a normal life. And as I and you always believe that they can become a national asset for the society rather than a liability. And
Very
as far as the adult is concerned, communication hearing is very important. So to get connected with the people, you have to understand your hearing. And of course there is always a difference between hearing and pleasure of hearing. So how best pleasure one should have, I think that knowledge one should have from the audiologist who
right.
makes you understand what the technology means. Now you explained about the precautions, you explained about how to take care of the hearing. Now a audience who does not have a hearing problems, and they don't lead further for the hearing problem, so what are knows you would like to give it to our audience to take care of their hearing health?
Right. So, I would definitely give a message to all the audience, to all the people who are listening to us, who are watching us, that it is never, you should never think that when should I start taking care of my ears? This is something that education and sensitizing people, not only adults but also children, right from the right age, because you often see parents telling the children that you should not watch so much TV, your eyes will get damaged, you will have some vision problems. But rarely have I seen anybody talking about the effects of noise or the harmful effects that it can have on the ears. So it is very important to kind of start telling our children about the
effects of noise and how it hampers hearing right from a very early age and stage once they start understanding. The fact that you should not put anything inside your ear like a pencil or a hairpin or a q-tip just to scratch or just to kind of wiggle around. So all these things have to be start, we have to start telling the children at a very early age when they start understanding, so that in future as adults they don't have a problem. Another very frequent thing which we come across is that we see a lot of patients who consider wax, ear wax, as a major enemy. They would tend to keep cleaning their ears with Q-tips and bobby pins or anything that they find get hold of, and they would just kind of scratch their ear a little bit. So we need to understand that we strongly kind of, suggest that q-tips should not be used. A little amount of wax is normal, and it is actually good for your ear. It is like a protective mechanism. So you needn't keep getting obsessed about cleaning your ears completely and there should be no wax, because eventually you might end up damaging your eardrum rather than cleaning the ear canal. So this is one thing. Second thing, in India, especially in the Indian scenario, we have this, dadima ke nuske, that whenever your ear is paining, you can just kind of heat up some oil and put a few drops inside the ear. So that is again strongly discouraged, because that eventually leads to secondary infections in the ear canal, and it can really hamper your hearing and your ears. Another point which I would like to suggest in India, like we have at a very young age, we have little girls, we get their ears pierced. So again, that's a very important thing, that whenever ear piercing is done, it should be done at the right place, from a right person, it should be done. And proper hygiene should be maintained. The earrings should be removed from time to time. The ears should be clean. The lobes should be clean and disinfected, so that healthy ears can be there for little girls as well. Then several other things, especially which can be taken care of along with an overall general well-being. It is very important to understand that eating healthy and regular exercise is very important for your hearing health, because there are certain vitamins, and especially vitamin B12 and certain minerals like potassium. These are very much essential for good ear health or for good hearing. So your diet should be rich. You should include a lot of fruits and vegetables which are rich in antioxidants, so that the ears can remain healthy. Along with that, certain amount of cardio exercise like a walking routine, or maybe jogging or some form of cycling, something which you can incorporate in your daily lifestyle. This will help not only your ears but your general well-being as a whole. So these are a few tips from my side which can be followed by individuals. If you are fond of listening to music, then I'm not saying that no, don't do it, but invest in a good quality noise cancellation earphone system. There, the noises will be cancelled. Follow the 60-60 rule so that you do not damage your hearing while deriving pleasure from listening to music. So, these are a few tips which, if are followed, I think we can protect our ears for many a years.
Yeah, I agree with you. Here, I would like to add to what you said, that, I visited one school where a lot of children were screened for hearing, and around 80% of them had a wax in the ear.
Hmm.
And sometimes what happens is, when they have so much wax in the ear, they are not able to concentrate in the class very well. So of course, very little wax is okay, but if there is a lot of wax, one need to consult a ENT doctor and get it clean. So you highlighted about the wax, also talked about the middle ear fluid recurrent, and we still use the Dadiji's Noska. The same thing happens with the home deliveries. We still do the home deliveries at home. So we would, as an audiologist, should request everyone to do the deliveries in the hospital, so that good care taken. And as you said, that overall health is also equally important for the hearing health, and that makes you more confident. to do anything in life. So as from the viewers point of view, we audiologists would like you to request to take care of hearing health. I mean, this pandemic has taught us to take care of our health. I think importance of hearing health is also equally important, and I think we all start paying attention to that, as Nidhi explained each and every point very nicely. I think we all can become a better person in the society. So that was just wonderful. You gave a very nice explanation about everything. Now, on the last note, do you want to pass on any special message to audiologists, and also special message to our viewers, that how important is the hearing health? I mean, if you want
Definitely.
to put it in few words, what you would like to say?
I would like to convey to all my colleagues, all my fellow audiologists in India and abroad, that as audiologists, we have to understand that we should, when we are dealing with hearing problems and hearing issues, we generally pay attention to a scenario where we are meeting a person who has developed a problem and then we are treating it. I think as audiologists, it is very important for us to take care of the normal individual so that the problem does not occur. So, creating awareness, generating awareness in your local areas through maybe resident welfare associations where you can give information, conduct talks, conduct free hearing camps for people, and educate them and impart information that how they can take care of their ears, how they need to take care of their hearing on a day-to-day basis, and also to provide them the correct information that, God forbid, if in spite of all these precautions, in spite of all these things, if you do face a hearing problem, then the right person to go and see will be a qualified audiologist who can take care of your hearing. So, to all my fellow audiologists, I would say that don't only focus on the treatment, but you should also focus on creating awareness and creating information channels for the population at across all age groups, that how they can actually prevent damage to the hearing in the first place.
That's true, very much true. And what you would like to say to the viewers about importance of hearing health?
To all the viewers, I would like to say that just imagine yourself in a world in where you are not able to hear each other. It is very difficult for us to imagine that condition because we take our hearing power for granted. We do not understand the importance of hearing until and unless one day something happens to it. So I would like to say that, like regular, you go for regular dental checkups, you go for regular checkups for your BP, cholesterol, because that's a matter of concern. So we need to understand that if the entire body is functioning well and okay, but you are not able to listen to your loved ones, you are not able to communicate with your loved ones, you are no longer able to participate in family meetings, maybe sitting at the dining table, but you're not able to hear what your family members are talking. The joy of living itself is deprived. So, as an individual, love your ears, take care of your hearing, and make sure that your ears love you back in a similar fashion.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. We all have to take care of our hearing health, take care of our hearing health, and it is very important in our life, because that's where the pleasure comes. And pleasure comes by connections. As today, I and Nidhi are connected with each other, we are enjoying talking to each other, and also, making our viewers listen to us. So this is something for us as an audiology. Hearing is very, very important. When we take care of your ears, and you take care of yours, and our life is made. I think that we discussed about the humanitarian touch as well in one of the talk show, and it is very important that we audiologists should show them the path, and you have shown a real good path to an individual, how to take care of the health. So really, I thanks you a lot, and I say that from bottom of my heart, to doing a wonderful job explaining to the people that how important is our hearing health. And thanks for joining us on this talk show. And I wish that listening to us, many audiologists would get inspired and spread the awareness throughout the country, as well as the viewers who are listening us will take care of their hearing health, and we together can make a difference.
Thank you so much, Devangi ma'am. Thanks a lot. It was a privilege talking to you. And I hope that the information which we have provided to our listeners really helps them.
Yes, and we can make difference together.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.